Welcome, and thank you for joining this overview of the Encoded Archival Standards Suite. My name is Cory Nimer, and I am speaking as a member of the Society of American Archivists Technical Subcommittee on Encoded Archival Standards, or TS-EAS. This presentation is intended for archivists who create, maintain, migrate, publish, or rely on structured archival description. It will introduce the standards in the suite, explain why they matter in professional practice, and emphasize that these standards are living community resources. They are not simply technical specifications for system staff. They're tools that support archival description, discovery, interoperability, and long-term stewardship. As we move through the slides, I encourage you to consider how these standards may already be supporting your local practice and where your institution might benefit from adopting, updating, or contributing to them. To begin, archival standards document our shared professional understanding about how information about archives should be recorded. They give us a common language for describing records, creators, contexts, relationships, and functions across institutions and systems. For professional archivists, standards are not abstract rules imposed from the outside. They're the product of accumulated expertise and community consensus. They help us represent records with greater consistency and rigor, support accountability and authenticity, and make our descriptive work more usable beyond a single repository or platform. As stated in the International Council on Archives' Universal Declaration on Archives, quote, "Archives record decisions, actions, and memories," unquote. Standards help ensure that those records and their contexts remain understandable, discoverable, and durable over time. One useful way to understand the Encoded Archival Standards Suite is to think about the different questions archival description needs to answer. When we describe who created, accumulated, or is associated with records, EAC-CPF provides a standard for encoding information about corporate bodies, persons, and families. When we describe what records are, EAD provides the structure for encoding archival description itself. When we describe why records were created, that is, the functions and activities that produced them, EAC-F provides a standard for representing that functional context. Together, these standards allow archivists to move beyond isolated finding aids toward richer, more connected description. They support the relationships among records, creators, and functions that archivists already understand as essential to provide context for researchers. The Encoded Archival Standards Suite currently includes EAC-CPF, EAD, and EAC-F. Each standard addresses a distinct part of the descriptive ecosystem, but they're designed to work together. These standards are maintained by the Technical Subcommittee on Encoded Archival Standards, operating under the SAA Standards Committee. This international group of archival professionals maintains these standards through community engagement, revision documentation, and implementation support. For archivists, this should be reassuring. The suite is not a vendor-specific model or a local workaround. It is a community-maintained infrastructure for archival description intended to support professional practice across repositories, systems, and national contexts. All of the encoded archival standards are expressed in XML. That technical choice has practical consequences for archival work. XML is platform independent, data-focused, Unicode compliant, widely supported, and capable of validation. In other words, it supports structured, preservable, and machine actionable description. As seen here in an XML snippet from an EAD4 file, the different elements are presented as nested, hierarchical tags that represent the structure of archival description. Each of the standards in the EAS suite include a control section for administrative metadata about the file, separate from the descriptive metadata about the entity. Each of these encoding standards are released with tag libraries and schemas. A tag library explains the elements and attributes in human-readable form so that archivists and developers can apply them consistently. The schemas then allow systems and repositories to test whether an encoded document conforms to that standard. The key message is that these standards are designed to be used. They are actively maintained, they respond to community needs, and they provide a structured bridge between archival expertise and technical implementation. The practical value of standards becomes clear when we consider what they make possible. Interoperability means that descriptive data can move between systems, aggregators, discovery layers, and preservation environments without requiring a custom translation for every exchange. Consistency and rigor mean the same kinds of information can be recorded in predictable ways. A date, a name, a title, a scope note, or a relationship can be identified and reused because it has been encoded in a consistent structure. Standards also support longevity and scalability. Systems change, repositories migrate platforms, and descriptive programs grow. Structured standards reduce the risk that information will become trapped in a local system or an undocumented format. They also improve discovery by making it easier for researchers to find information across institutions and to understand relationships among records, creators, and functions. Finally, standards are an expression of professional responsibility. They codify shared expectations for good archival description and invite continued discussion about what the profession values and needs. For those who want to put the standards into practice, the EAS Best Practices Guide is a key starting point. Specifications and schemas are essential, but they can be difficult to apply without examples, interpretive guidance, and implementation advice. The Best Practices Guide aims to help bridge that gap. It can support local decision-making, training, documentation, migration planning, and communication between archivists and technical colleagues. I would especially encourage archivists to use the guide as a shared reference when developing local encoding policies. Standards are most effective when they are implemented consistently, and local documentation anchored in community best practice can make that consistency much easier to sustain. The answer to whether archivists know about these standards is yes, but awareness and implementation can vary by institution, system environment, staffing, and region. In a recent TS-EAS survey, we found evidence of significant community engagement with encoded archival standards, and we hope the results will help us to identify where additional outreach, documentation, and support may be useful. This is an important point for a professional audience. Standards succeed when they are understood and used by the people whose work they are meant to support. Survey work gives TS-EAS a way to listen to archivists, learn about implementation challenges, and prioritize maintenance and outreach. If your experience differs from what you see in published findings, that's valuable feedback. Standards development benefits from hearing about successful implementations, but also barriers to adoption, migration concerns, training needs, and gaps in documentation. The main takeaways about the Encoded Archival Standards suite are these. EAD4 is a new version of the archival description standard and is open for implementation and feedback. EAC-CPF 3 is a new version of the standard for describing corporate bodies, persons, and families. EAC-F 1 is a new standard for describing the functions and activities that generate archival records. Together, this suite gives archivists, developers, system vendors, and institutions a coherent framework for encoding archival description and context. The standards are available now, and they are intended to be adopted, tested, discussed, and improved through community use. I would encourage you to review the relevant tag libraries. Explore the Best Practices Guide and consider where your descriptive data or local systems could benefit from the suite. TS-EAS welcomes feedback and participation, and any questions or comments may be sent to the email address here. Thank you for your time and attention. On behalf of the TS-EAS Outreach Subteam, I want to emphasize again that these standards belong to the archival community. They're maintained through professional collaboration, and they become stronger when archivists use them, question them, test them, and provide feedback. Whether your institution is already working with EAD or EAC-CPF, or is only beginning to explore structured archival description, there's a place for you in the conversation. Thanks.